Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface and welcome to another edition of this career mode of Motorsport Manager. We're still doing well with Predator. We've got Sanarana in second, we've got Latin in third in the driver's standings. We're top of the constructor standings once again after having another brilliant race, this time in Japan. We finished second and fourth, but both chariots most importantly finished well outside the points here. Just after I was bigging them up in the last episode, they had a really poor race, finishing 11th and second. Giving us quite the advantage there. So we just got a couple here. Should we go for any of these? Is one of these one of the ones? Yeah, we've lost one of the ones that we had been using for 650,000, hadn't we, for coming 6th or above. So can we go for this one now, 5th or above, for £800,000 a race? Yeah, so that probably works out a little bit better if we can finish 5th or above. So we've got one here. What can we get out of this one? We can get 400,000 a race out of this one. This one's 200,000 a race. That one's nothing to bother with. So I think, is that the same one that we had? I think it is. Yeah, it is. So we should, if we win a race, possibly be able to take home 2.2 million a race if we can qualify and finish the race 5th or above. So we're still building a new scouting centre. I have built a new brake part in the meantime, and we did finish the last suspension, so we now have a suspension here 406 which you can upgrade to 509. Obviously we're not working on it just yet because we are still working on these. Am I actually working on it? Yeah, am I? Yes, I am. Let's have a look. Am I working on it? Yeah, I am working on it. We try to get it up to speed so we can get it in the car. It needs to come above this so we can stick it in Santarana's car, and then this can go in Latinen's car. So we're finishing pretty much at the moment with the suspension designs. We've got the suspension up to legendary, so now we can just film 5 parts in this for the end of the season with risky parts. So we can, what can we get to if we did it? What would be the best way? Possibly those 5 can get us to 579. That's amazing. 579 we can get to for the end of the season. And we need to do one more on the rear wing to unlock the 5th slot. So hopefully we can get really high with that as well. So maybe we should just build that last rear wing part and then we're finished with upgrading everything until the end of the season. So what can we get the most out of this one? Plus 40, plus 70. We can get to 529 with that. Yeah, so we'll build that one. That's the last one we're going to do with this till the end of the season. So that should be it for upgrading the car this season, so we can concentrate just on hoarding money and improving everything after this point. So yeah, we should be pretty much there. So hopefully once we've got that suspension fully upgraded performance wise, we can make quite a nice little giant leap here. And I don't think, yeah, we can't actually do much better with the front wing at the moment. But obviously next year we're going to be aiming to build, which one is it? It's the wind tunnel, isn't it? Yeah, for the front wing we're going to be building that, and possibly the one for the brakes. We don't need the one for the engine at the moment, but we might do if we go up, because we will start having to develop the engine. But anyway, we're gonna go. I think that's it. Is it? Is that it? Is that everything? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead now and get to practice for Dubai, and we'll come back. Yeah, we'll actually come back after practice and talk through the setup and things like that, and get on with qualifying. Right, so it's time for the Dubai Grand Prix weekend. We've got a quick dilemma here. We've got some server problems. We're going to have to go and upgrade it just so we don't make the chairman unhappy. Although he's really happy with us, so it probably wouldn't have made a difference anyway. But let's go ahead. We've got this new sponsor now that we can select here, haven't we? So we can go for this 800,000, which is not far off the 2nd or above, so we can take home that pretty much. So let's see if we've got any new parts that we can get in the car here that are any better. So we've got we do have this one that we can now put in Latinen's car, because we've upgraded the reliability of it. Yeah, we've got the 2 best parts there. We've got a 430 rear wing, and that's possibly good enough to put in Latinen's car, so she's going to get a slight boost now. Rear wing wise, obviously we've got this to upgrade to 529 at some point. We are currently working on it a tiny little bit. We don't have a lot of time we can spend on it, and we do have a nice new suspension here for Latinen, which is now reliable enough for it to go in her car. Obviously we want to get this one up to get in Santarana's car, and then Latinen will get this one, which we can get to 479. So we've got a lot of progress we can make performance wise before the end of the season. So hopefully we can sort of stay ahead of the chariots here. Hopefully we can sort of catch them up a little bit. and sort of close the gap on them performance wise, so we can compete with them fully, because that would be a huge boost for that end of the season push, wouldn't it? Especially if we can get fully upgraded for that last race of the season where it's going to be double points. That would be that's going to possibly be the deciding factor this season. So we're going to go ahead now and continue to practice, and we'll come back once I've run the practice session and see where we finished up. Right, so practice is over. It's not the best practice session time wise, 17th and 20th there, but we didn't get any clean laps in. I don't even think we got one clean lap in during practice, so a lot of them are from being stuck behind other cars doing their out laps, in laps and so on and so forth. So we're aiming for 5th or above to get 400,000 here. So we got plus 10% on both of these, which is what I try and aim for. I'm not bothered about the times, just try to get to 10% there. There's not enough time to get 15% with the feedback levels. We did get pretty good there in the end. We got 99% there, even though one of them is great. Started off 97%, which was using last year's setup. So there's not much difference on the angles, just one up either way. And in the middle for gears and suspension towards hard, so not too bad there. It's we've got 2 pairs of super softs here for qualifying. Pretty much the same from Latin, but she's only a 94 there, so I'm probably going to revert back to this one, which is a 95. Yeah, we'll revert back to that one. And we've got 2 pairs of super softs here as well for Latin. So we can go ahead and take qualifying now, and we'll come back when one's about to set a flying lap. Right, so we've got Santa Ana coming round now, perfect and overheated for those, but she's got quite a nice little bit of clear track here, so hopefully we can get a nice decent time. Latin, meanwhile, it looks like she's been held up a little bit here, so we're going to try and slow down. Doesn't look like we're going to get quite a bit. No, we're going to have to try and let these cars pass that window, stay in front of this one hopefully. Speed up a little bit. Might just have enough clear track there. Santa Ana is currently going quickest here. Some nice clear track. Look at that. She's a lot quicker in that sector than everyone else. What the? How quick are we going around this track? What can we get here? She's about a second quicker at the moment, isn't she? Quite good there from Santa Ana, first on the grid. Latinen's a little bit slower than Santa Ana, but not enough that she's going to get knocked down the grid much. A couple of cars holding her up around there, so she has to take a bit of a different line around that corner. Told her at certain, so Latinen in 9th there. Santa Ana doing currently well in 3rd place. So what did the Chariots get? Gonzalez 7th, Vidal 13th. So the Chariots pretty slow around here, so hopefully we're going to be able to get another result where we're finishing higher than the Chariot teams here. Obviously we've got Monroe here, who is in... what team is that? I'm not sure, I can't even remember. And Hamilton in the Bower again, so it looks like the Bower have picked up a bit of performance here. Looks like your Chariots are starting to drop a little bit behind, doesn't it? So we're going to try and time this a little bit. We're probably going to send Santa Ana straight back out. No, are we? Yeah, we're going to send Latin straight back out. Sorry, should I say. Because Santa Ana does seem to be a lot better performance-wise than Santa Ana at the moment. We've got a lot of track to work here with for Latinen. Just this car behind, we don't want to let it past us, so we're going to have to push a little bit. Just try and keep that car behind us. Possibly, could we get... no, we're going to wait to get Santa Ana out quite a bit away from the back of these cars. Should we send her out now, but have her just dawdle around until we're ready for her to go? No, we need to get back to Latinen. Right, got quite a lot of track here for Latinen, so let's try to slow these things down. Don't want to let this car pass, so not too bad there. We got quite a lot of clear track here, but hopefully, I think we're going to get slowed down by Santa Ana. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can keep Santa Ana in front of Latinen here. We need to try and give Santa Ana as much clear track as we can get. We have to speed up, otherwise we're going to end up being conned, aren't we? Hopefully we can get that back up and not be conned. Oh, just a little bit conned. Latinen not doing too badly this time. Hasn't been slowed down. Hasn't had to take a weird line around the outside and moves up into 4th there. Not too far behind Santa Ana, so what can Santa Ana do here on our last lap? She's starting to catch a few of these cars in front, but I don't think she's going to get on the back of them, is she? Yes, she is. So Santa Ana's getting slowed down here, so she's not going to improve. So it looks like it's going to be 3rd and 4th unless anyone else can improve their times here. Santa Ana, no, nowhere near as quick there. Let's just hope we can keep this. It looks like both Chariots have done their times, haven't they? 11th and Vidal 13th. So hopefully we're going to pick up a little bit more distance over the Chariots here. stay on top of the constructors' standings. So Munro is still with the MRT. She did really well with the MRT, and she's not doing too well this season, I don't think. She's pretty far down the order, but then that's because it's just between us and Chariot picking up most of the points so far this season, so that's probably why the other drivers haven't been doing so good. So a really good qualifying session there, absolutely brilliant. We're getting totally up to speed here, and once we get these rear wings and suspensions totally finished and up to scratch, then we should be really quick. I'm just going to pick the same two that we do every time, the quickest tyre and the bonus stat from the mechanics. So it's 18 laps and we can get a hell of a lot of life out of these super softs, so we've got a lot of room to push with these super softs. So the first one is always just going to be, maybe what can we do, 6 laps, so we can possibly push for a little bit, can't we, and still run a 2-stopper here. And Latin has actually got enough in this one to not worry about that at all, actually. So we're going to push from the off here. Hopefully both these drivers don't crash into each other. That would be the worst thing that could happen. So maybe I want a little bit of room between them. So we're going to see who comes out of the first corner the best, and maybe turn the other one down if they're a little bit too close together. We can't afford either of these cars hitting each other, and Latinen gets a jump on Santa Ana there. Santa Ana down into 5th, but Latinen an awesome start up into 2nd there, getting past Munro. Munro, who has lost it from the front of the grid. Santa Ana dropping down the order a little bit here, and Latinen battling away for 2nd place, still here with Cruz. Absolutely brilliant racing from Latinen. So where are we going to be at with Santa Ana 7th place? Who's in front? Larson. I think we've got the Chariots behind her, one of the Chariots at least anyway. So we don't want to lose that place to Gonzalez here. We want to keep Santa Ana as far ahead of the Chariots as we can. Latinen running in 2nd. Hamilton out in front in the Boa, pulling away here. Latinen obviously not the quickest of drivers, and she doesn't have the same performance in her car as Santa Ana does, but Santa Ana got away pretty slowly, and Gonzalez tearing up there. It looks like, yeah, Gonzalez and the Chariot tearing past there. It's just going to be a matter of whether our strategy works around here. So we've gone through 2 laps, so should we think about turning down right about now? We've still got some life in these tyres to push with them, and go medium and push, and hopefully keep up with that. A lot of the others are turning their tyres down pretty much already, so should we go ahead? Yeah, I think we're going to have to, aren't we? So hopefully we can stay somewhere nearby if we do that. Santa Ana all the way down into 9th now. Running pretty slow during this race. Tyres are pretty hot. Maybe we should try cool them down a little bit. We don't want them wearing away before this tank of fuel goes. Just want to try and get the judge on everyone else's strategy. I think a lot of them burning through the tyres. I wonder if they're still pushing. They're still pushing quite a bit, so they look like they're running 3 stops again, don't they? Because they're burning through the fuel pretty quickly. But as it is, Hamilton, look at that, 11. And look, a few of them are already coming in here. Hamilton had an 11-point gap there, so should we push from this point forward now? Should we just go push? I think that's what we should do, isn't it? Whilst all those have made their pit stops, and just see if we can get that jump again like we did last time. Of course, there's a few holding Santa Ana up here, it looks like. We've got a virtual safety car again straight after the first round of pit stop as someone crashed. Vidal, so one of the Chariots has gone. So that's really good in our favour here. So we're just going to push these tyres. I think we can get 2 laps out of them pretty easily. Latinen running in first at the moment. Gonzalez hasn't made her pit stop yet, but I would be expecting her to come in this lap. Is she coming in? She's running on a soft tyre, so that's probably why she's going a bit longer from the start. She's possibly going to pit at the same time as us. What's the gap to Hamilton? So can we extend that gap there enough to get out in front after the pit stops? If we can get Latinen, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get Latinen out at that point, does it? So where is Santa Ana going to be after this pit stop? 0.82. What if we turn her down? Can she get another? Can she go another lap? Yes, she can. So we'll try do that. Latinen is coming in this lap for another pair of super softs here. Obviously, we can't push as much this time around. We usually do it the other way around, but since Latinen's out in first, we're going to try. no, should we do it the other way? Should we do it the other way since Lattinen's got the clear air? She can't get as much out of her tyres. Should we turn? Can Lattinen do it? Yes, she can. So we're going to try it the other way. No, what am I doing? Not pitting. It's not you pitting, is it? Because Santa Ana, she could push a lot longer on these tyres. No, we're going to go back to what we were doing before. We can possibly push on these tyres for 2 laps. Whereas Lattinen can't, so we're going to go back to this one. So it's Lattinen coming in first, although she's going to have to do a bit of a better job with her tyres on this lap. So we've got the tyres done, got the fuel done, everything done there. So Lattinen, just see where she can filter back out of the pits here. It looks like we should be able to get back out in 5th place. Obviously a few of these still have to do sort of some pit stops and stuff. Santa Ana's getting held up a little bit here. Behind Hamilton, who has made his pit stop, hasn't he? So, but it looks like he's got to do 3 stops in this race. So if we keep this sort of distance now, we should do pretty well. We're going to have to conserve here. We're going to get ready for this new pit stop. We're going to go full tank again, so we can do what we want to do. Just hope we can keep some distance here. Keep within distance. Lattinen running 4th, but a lot of these look like they are doing 3 stoppers again, so that's possibly going to work in our favour again here. So where can Santa Ana get back out here? Looks like she's going to be quite far down the order. Out into 12th place, not the best. We do have some room to push. Hopefully we can get past a few of these cars and they're not going to slow us down too much. But where is Gonzalez here? Outside the points, so the Chariots are outside the points again. It looks like it could work in our favour here with Chariot. We should be in a position to get a few more points in front of them. Obviously we want to try and get Santa Ana in front of Gonzalez as well. The Chariots are currently running with 1 car at the moment after Vidal crashed. So what can we get done here? Lattinen burning a lot of fuel here, isn't she? So we're going to have to try and conserve, and yeah, we're going to do that. Just try and stay within distance, although I don't think we can get... Don't look like we're going to be able to stay within distance of Hamilton. I think Hamilton's got this pretty much sewn up here. Although he's made his pit stop. Oh. Is Hamilton a male? Here he is. Monroe's a female. So they are running the 3 stopper here. So what can we get out of Lattinen here? 4 laps of fuel. So can we just go ahead and push from here? See how far ahead we can get of Hamilton, see if we can start getting some more distance between us and them. It's 10 seconds at the moment, so hopefully we can improve on that somewhat between now and the next pit stop, and we can just keep... I don't care that your tyre degradation is through the roof, we're just going to need to keep pushing here, Santa Ana. You've fallen down the order. So we're on the back of Monroe, who's making her pit stop now. So can we stay ahead of Hamilton here? What's the gap at the moment? 10 seconds. Is he gaining? He's actually gaining, isn't he? Even though we're running all out. And he's on the slower tyre as well, and he's still gaining. But I think he's still got another pit stop to go, so we just need to try and keep this distance here. So we've got 1 more lap out of Lattinen here we can get. Super softs. I think we might... We'll go to there, so we've got enough room to push if the need happens to arise. Santa Ana up into 4th. She's got quite a lot of life out of this. She's got another 2 laps that she could possibly do and then have a ton of time to go on the super softs on the last one to just keep pushing and pushing again. So hopefully Santa Ana can get herself working again, back up the order here. She's got tons of life in this to do whatever she needs to do. Lattinen in here, full mistake on the pit stop, back out into 3rd. So it's just Hamilton in front, who has to make another pit stop, I would reckon. So we just want to stay within distance until he makes that pit stop. Santa Ana, meanwhile, has another pit stop to make. At the end of this lap, has you got enough fuel to get around? Just. So I think we'll go a little bit extra because she has got a ton of room to push, hasn't she? There we go. Tyres are going to hold out for this. Where can she filter back out? Hopefully she can filter out. Doesn't look like she's going to be about 6, does it? A lot of these cars are coming round again. Hopefully she's not going to get held up by a big stream of cars where she can get back out. 7th, not too bad, but up into 6th. Can she push out of the pits here and get back in front? No. Lattinen's falling behind Hamilton a little bit. We just need to try and keep this distance, because Hamilton is going to have to stop for fuel at some point. Is it now? Is it now? No, he's going round again. There's 4 laps remaining, so we've got a ton of fuel here to work with. Have we got the tyres as well? We've got the tyres as well. We can just keep pushing here. Although we're getting down on engine power, aren't we, as well? So we're going to probably have to go medium here because the engine power is getting down. But we've got life in the tyres. We just need to keep distance with Hamilton. Yes, I know, but you're going to have to get through with that engine. Done it before, Lattinen. There's no point making a pit stop because you'll fall out of the points. Santa Ana, meanwhile, she can keep going here. And she does. She gets up into 6th. So Lattinen's now got this first place. So can we just hold on to this here? I think Cruz has got to make another pit stop as well. So it's whether we can just hold off Hamilton here. He's 9 seconds behind, I think. I think that's 9 seconds, isn't it? I think that's 5 plus 4 is what it turns out to be. So he is actually gaining. But we don't have the room to push, although we might have to risk it towards the last lap. Although there is a back marker in between, so hopefully that will work out in holding these two up. So we've got Santa Ana up into 5th as well, Gonzalez. So one of the chariots is in position for points, but we've got both cars in the points here. And it looks like that back marker is doing us a massive favour in holding up those cars behind. It just depends on whether Hamilton get past Cruz, because Hamilton is on an absolute charge here. He's gained about 5 seconds on us. He's now dropping behind as he's stuck behind a back marker. No, he's got past the back marker. Oh, so we got room to push this engine. We don't. He's going to end up getting back past us, isn't he? So should we risk it for 2 points? Should we risk it just to get our name on that first place trophy? Don't know if the engine's going to hold out. He's still going to possibly gain on us. No, it doesn't look like it, does it? Got tons of fuel left. We possibly don't have the life in the tyre to get round either. Whereas Hamilton's got a nice fresh pair there towards the end of the race. I don't think Lattinen's going to hold it here. We have to try and conserve these tyres a tiny bit. And slow down. Can we just keep Hamilton behind? Just backing up, actually defend more. Let's just try push for this last corner. Okay, we've got enough life in all of this to get round in first place. It looks like we do. Looks like we do, and Lattinen across in first place. Absolutely brilliant. It looks like Santa Ana's going to get... Yeah, it looks like Santa Ana's got 5th here. So absolutely brilliant. Another win. Another absolutely brilliant win. I can't remember how much that is this season. Is that 3? Or is it 4 wins? Possibly 3 wins so far out of 7 races. Absolutely brilliant racing from both teams. So we picked up 2 for that. We've picked up 8 for that at least. And Gonzalez has got 3. So we should have at least picked up plus 7 points on the chariot team. Hopefully. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look-see. Scrutineering. We don't have any chance of having any parts being found. So yeah, it was Monroe who got pole and the fastest lap. So it wasn't a chariot picking up any bonus points in that race. So that should extend our lead once again. Another win here. 36 Santa Ana. Getting somewhat close to Gonzalez there. Lattinen's at 2nd and 3rd. Absolutely brilliant for both drivers. And look, we've now got a nice 10-point gap here. Hopefully we're going to need to keep building this just so at the last race of the season we don't actually go and muck it up. That would be the worst thing that we could ever do if we went and milked up the last race where it's double points. There's no point. Boa have kind of improved a little bit because of Hamilton, who has been surging ahead. Although we managed to come out in front of Hamilton there. And what's cruising? Is he in a... What car's cruising? In the Kirov, I don't think they're anywhere near. So it's just whether the Boa can improve enough, but if we can keep above these, we're doing really well at the moment. It's 10 points ahead here. We're past the halfway stage of the season now. Excuse me. And it looks like we're challenging for the title. And it looks like we're going to be able to keep this run going, especially as we keep upgrading these parts. Obviously we've now finished building, we've got one more part to go, and that's possibly all we're going to do. Now we can just improve on getting all these performances up to the top level that they can be at. And a lot of them are over 500, so we should be at a point where a lot of these parts can possibly near the top. Obviously at the moment the suspension's like rated 9th, but if we can get that up to the 529 that we can, it could be rated 1st. So Santa Ana's car might be good enough that she can actually challenge for the Drivers' Championship as well. So absolutely brilliant from both drivers. We've got Brazil next as well, which is possibly my favourite track on this game. As in real life, I do like the Brazil track. I think we actually won in Brazil last year. It's going to be rainy again, which should hopefully play into our hands. Although, yeah, look at that, it's going to be a fun wet race in it. So, because that cloud with the 3 raindrops does mean fun wet, so it's going to be a fun wet race. Practice qualifying, and for the race we're going to need full wet tyres at some point, it looks like. Yeah, absolutely brilliant there. The car condition not dropping at all. Problems with Ines Santa Ana. They're now rivals. The driver will not renew their contract while Ines Santa Ana is still driving for the team. It lasts for a year. So Maya has gone from fancying Santa Ana. Obviously she's probably been rejected at some point and is now a rival with Santa Ana. But I don't think that's going to force us into changing any drivers, but I don't think Latinen is going to get this extra half star, so we might have to take a hit at some point and maybe try and find another paid driver that's a little bit better. That would possibly be the option, because that's the reason that we keep Latinen around, although she is doing really well this season. So Santa Ana has got 2 wins this season. Look at Santa Ana's results there. Second, first, second, second. She's got 5 podiums from 7 races here. Absolutely brilliant. And what's Latinen got? 4th, 2nd, 7th, 9th, 4th, 1st. So pretty good there as well. She's got 3 podiums. So what are they like side by side? Santa Ana winning everything. I don't know why this game doesn't pick up the qualifying stats. You don't get to see who's out qualified each other. For some reason, I'm not sure why. There are 5 podiums, 3 podiums for Latinen. Santa Ana has outraced Latinen 5 times and picked up 2 wins to Latinen has 1. So obviously Santa Ana is a really good driver, and I would like to give her a chance in the World Motorsport Championship. I know she's not good enough, but she's outperformed in every series that she's been in. I want to see if she can outperform in Formula 1 as well. So it would possibly be Latinen that's going to make the step aside for a paid driver. But if we had Mia in the Formula 1, I think the sponsorship goes up to about £1 million, so we would be making like 900,000. So it might be sort of a risk to keep both drivers, but the money sort of talks. There's like, I think there's still 16 races, I think. I know it starts out as 16 races, doesn't it? Is it still 16? It's 15. But that would be £15 million a season for keeping Latinen in the seat, pretty much. Which is a lot of money to just sort of throw away. But anyway, that's something we would have to think about if we ever got there, and it is looking quite likely at the moment. But that's where we're going to leave it this time. We're back for the Brazil Grand Prix next time. It is pretty much a copy of the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. It's a Rio de Janeiro track here, so hopefully we can go ahead and get another good result there and stay ahead of these chariot cars, which were performing so well until I jinxed them. I think it was last episode I jinxed them by saying they keep getting in front and just running away. Obviously they've fallen behind a little bit now, and they can't even get in the points a lot. They've struggled to get points. So anyway, if you want to keep up with this series and see if we can get promoted to the top series, go ahead and subscribe down below, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment if you think we're doing well. But until next time, I will see you down the road in Brazil, and goodbye.